Yo, what's up YouTube? It's your boy Damontae bringing you a banger. Don't forget to go follow on my Twitch, please. Here you will never miss out on daily Payday content. The ex-president's sniper build. The perk deck abilities look like this. Your first ability being Point Break, which is while your armor is active, you will start to stack HP per kill for you and your teammates. Now, when your armor actually is completely broken and it starts to regenerate, that's when your HP will actually be regened with the armor. And then also the last part of this is that the maximum amount of HP that you can store is based on the armor value that you're wearing. The Emerging Force, which increases the amount of HP when you kill something to another 4, and then you also gain an extra 10% health to your overall HP pool. Life of Ice. This will increase the maximum health that can actually be stored by another 50%. You actually gain another 10% health increase, and then you also get a 10% dodge increase, mixing it up a little bit inside the build. Awakening Earth, which is another stacking your HP on per kill, and then it'll also give you another 20% HP increase, putting you at a whopping total of 322 HP. The best part of the perk deck, the Perfect Line. Killing an enemy speeds up your armor recovery time, and it'll always depend on how much armor you have. So if you have less armor, it'll be much quicker of an armor regen. If you have armor, it'll be a little bit slower. Now, this will always be reset as soon as your armor gets regened. Some of the things that this build can excel in is ranged combat. Since you have a sniper rifle with grays, it can easily deal with the groups of enemies. While positioning is most key inside this build, if you do catch yourself inside close quarters combat, you can always whip out your secondary SMG. Now, your sniper rifle obviously can be the best weapon in this situation as long as you're able to actually hit your shots, hit the headshots, and be rewarded with, a group kill. Unlike the other perk decks, ex-presidents actually benefits from having grays, because all these kills that you stack up will quickly give yourself that life regen stack up, and if you're using the suit, you take 210 life regen stack up. So initially, instead of taking 225 damage when you take HP damage, you're roughly going to only be taking 15 damage, because if you're healing for 210, only thing that's left over is 15 damage. Inside the build here, we try to have an answer for every form of combat. If it's close quarters, we've got an SMG. If it's medium range, we can whip the sniper and or still use our SMG. If it's a group of enemies that we can't peek because maybe we have armor broken, I have grenades that get regened from fully loaded that I can use. The TNT brick, for some reason, just works so well in the build. So being a jack of all trades like this and having an answer for absolutely everything is what makes the ex-president so versatile and so good. Now going over to the ammo bags in this build. The ammo bags in this build will actually provide me more healing than the first aid kits entirely. The first aid kits only provide me 14 heals and they run out. While ammo, on the other hand, every comp on the game actually drops an ammo box, and then this bag of ammo produces instantaneous ammo, and it's at 800% of a bag, meaning I could use it 8 times for both of my guns being completely dumped of ammo. And also, we can easily spare this ammo bag for my teammates. We have 2 of them in my inventory, but both of them can easily be shared and split amongst our team. Inside this build, as long as you're actually playing from cover and respecting the angles that are actually seeing you, you actually will probably never die inside the ex-president because it has an answer for everything. You've got a small dodge percentage, you've got a life increase, you've got life regen, you've got armor regen. You have an answer for absolutely everything in the build, and it also has mobility. With the lightning fast armor regen that it does bring to the table, that can lead to some players being fairly too aggressive. While you can be very aggressive in this build, if you don't actually know what you're doing, trying to be very aggressive in this build is just going to lead to you getting downed a bunch. This build mixes together crazy ways of playing. Things like dodge mixed with lightning armor regen, things like lightning armor regen mixed with lightning HP regen on the level of Kingpin. Let's get into the skills for the build. We start off with Gray's Ace because, as I had mentioned earlier, this is our way to stack up HP regen inside the build, and it'll stack up a crazy amount. Other than that, we just follow it up with fast reloading and some accuracy. which is then followed up by passive armor regen from the skills and bullseye, and then we follow it with fully loaded aced, which regens are throwable, and since we're continuously using our throwable for a multitude of situations, it actually comes very handy. It's also paired with ammo bags, which is more used for HP regen. Then we pair body expertise inside the build so that our SMG hits a little bit harder and it has surefire to pierce the enemy armor. We grab sprinting dodge so that when we are sprinting we actually get a dodge increase, and then it is also followed by dire need so that when our armor breaks the next shot will stagger the enemy to our HP, which is then followed by full crits, optical illusions, high value target, and accuracy buffs. There is a few skills that have been changed from the 22 perk deck build video, but other than that, very minor. Here are the guns that we're using with the ex-president's build. Firstly, we went with the suppressed barrel here. Yes, it does minus accuracy, but since we have the accuracy buff skill, it is actually giving us an accuracy increase. Then it's followed by the stability increase. I go ahead and switch it to the LED combo because I must not have, but it doesn't really make too much of a difference here since it's a bolt action rifle. Now the sight here is completely situational. I went with the Seymour sight. You can stay with a scope if you choose to. Since the build isn't going for concealment, it is unaffected. And then lastly we go for the wooden body here. Yes, it does give us some statistical advantages, but we mostly went for the purple dragon. Yes, the gold dragon looks cool, but the purple one is just so much better. For the Kxng here, we go for the precision barrel for the accuracy and stability increase. Since we're not going for concealment build, it is unaffected. Next it is followed by the bigger the better suppressor for the same accuracy and stability increase. Then we give ourselves an accuracy buff, which is then followed by the LED combo for the stability increase. Next we go for the AK plastic grip, which is giving us accuracy and stability increase, stacking this gun to 100 accuracy stability. Which is lastly followed by the Seymour sight, which is completely optional. You can choose any sight that you want to put on the build. Here are just some small tips that I'm going to be giving you about the ex-president's build. On the 30% dodge inside the ex-president's build here, for you to dodge 2 bullets in a row, that's effectively just 9% of actually happening. Now here's where it's going to get just a slight bit confusing, so I do apologize ahead of time. On our 30% dodge here, we're effectively able to get a dodge-dodge situation, right? We're also able to get a dodge and then a bullet hit. We're also able to get a bullet hit and then a dodge, and then we're also effectively able to get a hit and a hit. But knowing that both the bullets in a row hitting us back to back is effectively a 49% of actually happening, that's something that you can have knowledge of. And also knowing that the perk deck can survive 3 shots, those 2 hits back to back are effectively not really killing you. Those 2 hits back to back are only going to deal life damage, and then you're going to regen 210 HP, so effectively you're only taking 15 damage. Alternatively, inside this build you could be putting on the light ballistic vest for 70 armor, and yes, there's points that you could suffice and mix up to get that. What that's effectively going to do is allow the light units not to break your armor on every shot, but the alternative is that you're going to lose out on a dodge percentage, which is effectively part of your build. It's one of the key points to the build, so if you're effectively just removing part of it, it actually is not going to survive as easily. But on the other side, with having the 2-shot light unit armor, you could be far more aggressive in certain situations that otherwise you wouldn't be able to, because light units have either broken your armor or something along those lines. Another small tip that you could be using inside this build is that the throwable regen that we have as the TNT brick, you could throw this on the ground and explode your armor to regen your HP in a safer manner. Now on the alternative side, you could just bring Molotovs and throw those on the ground and bust your armor in a much safer manner and a more controlled stance as well, while still being able to regen those throwables. Just the downside to that one is that the Molotovs don't exactly have as much of an explosive area of effect. They only have an area of an effect where they land. So in that situation it can be a little tough to make them be as useful as the TNT brick is inside the build. But both of them are great options to damage the player's armor so that you can regen your HP. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I do sincerely appreciate everybody that has been stopping by my channel. We have exploded with subs and views recently. I just want to take the time to say thank you guys so much for helping me reach my dream. About a year ago, I never thought I would be releasing weekly videos and continuously making content for my YouTube. I appreciate all the likes and thank you so much for everybody who leaves a comment on my videos. I try to respond to every single one of them. Thank you guys so much. Please hit that sub button and don't miss the next one.